it's Ina the Mood Reader, and today I'm going to share with you my TBR for the PhilMythReadathon. Okay, so in case you haven't heard of it yet, we'll be having the PhilMythReadathon starting tomorrow, March 28th, up to April 10th, this 2021. And this readathon is organized by Gerald the Bookworm. I watched his video talking about this, I'm not sure if yesterday or a few days ago. And I've learned that it's the second year that this event is happening, and I'm very excited because from the video you can really see how excited Gerald is for the activities for this year's PhilMythReadathon. So basically, with this readathon, we just have 7 prompts. You pick a book for each prompt, or you can double up if you want, and you just read it along with everyone from March 28th to April 10th. And you also have the chance to earn some badges. Aside from the 7 prompts, Gerald also prepared a badge for a person who would be able to read 7 books, as well as someone who can, I think, finish a book on the first day of the readathon. I'm not sure. I suggest that if you want to learn more about the details of this readathon, please go ahead and visit Gerald the Bookworm's channel. I also will be sharing the Facebook group for the readathon, as well as the Instagram account, so that you can follow along or you can join if you're interested in spending time with us. I'm sure there would be amazing activities like reading sprints where we can all bond together and talk about the books we have chosen for this readathon. And today I'll be sharing with you guys my tentative TBR. You know how I get with being a mood reader, so let's see if I will be able to stick with this. But yeah, okay, so the first prompt is Black Lady, which means reading a black covered book by a woman POC author. Okay, so for this book I decided to go with an ebook via Scribd because I don't have I have a lot of books by women POC authors. Unfortunately, some of them don't have like enough black to reach 80%, which was the rule set by Gerald. So the book I chose for this is Dwellers by ELIZA VICTORIA, and I haven't heard much about the book, but I've heard about the author from some bookish circles. And I think she writes speculative fiction, mysteries, thrillers, and maybe horrors. And I think this book is borderline mystery thriller. I'm not sure if it's a horror book, but maybe. Based on the synopsis of the book, it says 2 young men with the power to take over another body takes over the body of these 2 brothers, and I think they got into an accident, and they also found out that there's a dead body in the basement somehow. I don't know. I'm not sure if I said all of that correctly. I'll just be also linking the Goodreads pages of each of these books if you want to check them out as well. So yeah, for the second prompt, it's Maria MAKILING, and you can pick any book with a beautiful cover. For this one, I decided to go with Mirage by SOMAIYA DAUD. And I have to admit, I bought this book last year purely as a cover buy. I did not know anything about the book. And aside from seeing it from a recommendations video by Kate from Your Tita Kate. And I think this is a fantasy book, also written by an Asian author, so it would be exciting to read this during this readathon. I also think that it is a fairly short one. I think it's just about 300 something pages. And this book, according to the flap here on the dust jacket, says that her own face was the enemy. In a world dominated by the brutal Vathek Empire, 18-year-old Amani is a dreamer. She dreams of what life was like before the occupation, of writing poetry, of receiving a sign from Dia that one day she too will have adventure and travel beyond her isolated moon. But I think what happens is she gets kidnapped by the regime and taken in secret to the royal palace, where she discovers that she looks nearly identical to the cruel half-Vathek princess Maram. So I think they would use her, since she looks a lot like the princess, as a decoy or as a body double for the princess, and this would be some fun adventure. So I'm excited to read this one for the PhilMythReadathon. For the third prompt, we have Santel Mo, which I think is similar to like Saint Elmo's Fire. So the prompt says to pick a book with fire either in the title or on the cover. And for this one, honestly, I'm still unsure which book to pick up. I guess I just would mention them both to you guys, and you can help me. Please suggest which one I should go for, or, well, to be honest with you guys, I would just pick the one that I am in the mood for that day. The first one is Girls of Paper and Fire by NATASHA Ngan. And I think this is another fantasy book written by an Asian author. And it says here at the back, in my land, we are known as paper girls, easily torn, existing only for others to use and discard. But there's something they've all forgotten about paper. It can light the world on fire and make it burn. Grabe, ang taray. Okay, so I know this is a part of a trilogy. I don't have the second and third book yet. That is why I'm a little hesitant to use this book for a readathon. But I remember somebody, I'm not sure if it's Polly from What Polly Reads, who told me that this book is amazing and she wants to reread it sometime soon, or read it. I forgot already, but yeah. So this is my first pick. My other pick is this. As usual, I'm torn between reading a fantasy book that's not usually my comfort genre and a contemporary romance book. And the contemporary romance is Starry Eyes by JENN BENNETT. This book has fire on the cover, and this was a gift to me by Gerald, who created this readathon, and I think that this is the right timing to read this book. Many people have been recommending JENN BENNETT books to me. I have 3 of her books but haven't read any of them yet. And Starry Eyes has one of my favorite tropes, enemies to lovers, but with this one we get something extra. They're best friends turned enemies and then lovers. So I think that this would be a fun ride. Many people have been raving about this book. It has many awesome reviews. So I'm really torn between these 2 books. But yeah, so I'll be leaving at least 1 extra book in handy just in case I feel something. Okay. Okay, so for the next prompt, we have Manananggal, which is a book that is told in 2 points of view. And for this one, I chose an ARC I have on my Kindle because I'm having an ARC April project this coming April. And I want this to be the first ARC I would be reading for the month. And it's He's a Brute by CHLOE LIESE. I have the book 1 and book 2 of this Tough Love series. And I have to admit, I don't know much about the book. I peeked a little on Goodreads, and what I got is that this book has these tropes. Enemies to lovers. It's a romantic suspense. There's a lot of bedroom negotiations. This is a very steamy read. I have a feisty heroine, and for some reason it's a sports romance but also a mafia romance. So I don't know really what would happen with this book. The reason I picked it up, honestly, is that it's just a 200 something pages. So it's something short that is perfect for starting up this readathon and like getting my momentum. So yeah, that's my pick for Manananggal. Next is Sirena or Mermaid. And for this prompt, I have to find a book that is written in verse. So for this, I have two picks as well. The first book is I Must Belong Somewhere by DAWN LANUZA. This is also an arc I have on my Kindle that I haven't really picked up yet. I've read a lot of DAWN LANUZA works before, both for her novels and her poetry, and this one is a poetry book. I have to admit I don't know much about it as well, but I trust DAWN LANUZA's writing, so I'm hoping to have a good time with this one. The other poetry book that I might pick up for this readathon is Pillow Talk by ALYSSA CATALUNA, who is a booktuber as well at Isa Not Bella, and she is also a bookish content creator. And I'm so excited because her book is coming out on the first week of April, and of course to show our support to our fellow Filipino bookish content creator, I will be excited to get my copy of her book. And I'm also inviting you guys to add it to Goodreads, or you can also contact ALYSSA to have a copy of the book. I'll be linking down her socials below. Okay, so the next prompt is Duende or Dwarf. So for this prompt, I have to pick a mass market paperback, and my choice for that prompt is Vintage Love by Agay Lianera. This is part of the romance class books. And just to show you like the height difference, so as you can see, it's really a dwarf compared to this book. And again, this is a thin book, perfect for a readathon. I think this is my third copy of a book with a similar packaging style, also from the same romance class series. I've read Cover Story Girl before and Save the Cake, so this is my last one. Vintage Love is about 26-year-old Chrissy Lopez's Chrissy Lopez. I'll just read it. So what is this book about? So it says here, 26-year-old Chrissy Lopez's life is in dire need of a makeover. Her wardrobe revolves around ratty shirts and beat-up sneaks. Her grueling schedule as a TV executive leaves no room for a social life, and worst of all, she's still hung up on the evil ex who left her 5 years ago. When her fashionable grand aunt passes away and leaves behind a room full of vintage stuff, the shy stylista inside Chrissy gradually resurfaces. Soon she feels she is making progress with a budding love life to boot, but the grim ghost of the past catches up with her, threatening to push her back into depression. To finally move on, Chrissy learns that walking away is not enough. This time, she needs to take a leap of faith. Sorry for reading all of that. I was curious myself. So, yeah, this is my pick for Duende. Now, last but not the least, Malakas at Maganda. So, you have to pick up a book written in your mother tongue, or at least a Filipino diaspora book. And for that, I'm from Cavite, and here our dialect is Tagalog. So I picked up a book written in Tagalog. I've been talking about this series for 3 months already. Ooh, what a spoiler. There's a spoiler. So this is I Love You Since 1892, Justicia, or Justice in English. And this is the third book of this series. And I was supposed to have a live show of this book already today, but unfortunately life caught up. Moon and I are both a little busy. Yeah, but we're having a live show about this book at the first week of April, so watch out for the updated schedule. And yeah, so this is the third book in the I Love You Since 1892 series. It's a historical Filipino romance book. It's a Wattpad sensation, also published, I think, in the 8th printing already. Many Filipinos are a fan of this book, and we're finding out why. So, yeah. this is my pick for Malakas at Maganda. And those are all the books I'm planning to read for the PhilMythReadathon 2021. And I'm inviting you, if you are free, if you have the time, please do join us and sign up for the readathon. All you have to do is to decide which books you want to read. You can like casually join us, just pick up few prompts you're interested in, or you can also try to fill in all the prompts. You can ask ideas from us. You can also check out other TBR videos by other Filipino booktubers. I've seen one from Kat from her bookish side, and as well as Moe from A Cup of Moe. So I'll also be linking down their videos below. And yeah, so for this, I'll try to vlog my entire experience so that I can bring you along with this journey. For the first day, my challenge is to finish one book that day, and we'll see if I'll be able to do that tomorrow. So yeah, please let me know if you're joining and what the books you are going to read for this readathon. See you on our Facebook group, and also see you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!